It was a good week for JMU and the state of Virginia as a whole. Welcome back. I'm Paige Ellenberger. After a once-in-a-lifetime win, UVA fans and students took to the streets, climbed telephone poles, and yes, lit couches on fire in celebration. The Hoos arguably made one of the biggest comebacks in NCAA men's basketball history. After losing to the 16th seed UMBC as number 1 in the first round of last year's March Madness, the Cavaliers bounced back to win it all. But barely. It was a narrative the Hoos were familiar with this whole postseason, making buckets in the final seconds to force overtime. In fact, the last 3 of their games have come down to last-second points. Virginia watched a 10-point lead halfway through the second half drop off to a 3-point deficit. Here's how it played out. With 14 seconds left in regulation, redshirt sophomore DeAndre Hunter came in clutch. He hit a 3 from the right corner, forcing the game to go into overtime. OT was a fight by both teams, but with 30 seconds left, the Hoos led by 5 and only added to it to wrap it all up. Virginia wins the title, 85-77. After winning back-to-back CAA championship titles, their 9th in program history, the swimming and diving Dukes won all CAA awards, starting with head coach Dane Peterson, who was selected as swimming coach of the year, and John Walsh, who was picked as the diving coach of the year. Junior Bonnie Zhang was voted as swimmer of the year. She won weekly honors 4 times this season. Freshman Morgan Whaley was tabbed rookie swimmer of the year. And finally, sophomore Faith Anderson was awarded with diver of the year. Anderson was the only CAA diver to compete at the NCAA Zone A championships back in the beginning of March. Some other Dukes racked up multiple weekly honors as well, starting off with softball's right fielder, sophomore Logan Newton, who led JMU during last week's Hofstra series. She homered twice, tallied 8 RBIs, and batted a .583. Molly Dougherty, a redshirt sophomore goalkeeper for the lacrosse team, earned herself CAA Defensive Player of the Week, following her performances at Delaware and against Towson. For doubles team, Paul Mendoza and Tate Steiner, they received doubles team of the week for the 2nd time this season. Steiner also earned Player of the Week after securing 2 matches against Radford this week. And it's been a while since we talked football, but former defensive lineman and 2-time All-American Andrew Ankra signed his golden ticket to the NFL. Ankra signed a 3-year free agent contract with the Washington Redskins on Monday. Ankra was with the Dukes from 2013 to 2017 and finished up as one of the FCS top defenders, won the FCS Athletics Director Association Defensive Player of the Year award, and was the 2nd runner-up for the Stats FCS Buck Butchingham Award. He finished his time at JMU with 117 total tackles, 36 tackles for loss, 26 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. Post-JMU, Ankra played for the Orlando Apollos in the AAF. I reached out via Instagram, and Ankra said JMU has helped him transition into now being in the NFL, and he will be forever grateful for JMU. Ankra will join 6 other alumni in pro stadiums this season. And speaking of football, JMU fans will be getting a sample of what the Dukes are cooking up for this season. Its annual spring game kicks off at 1 p.m. tomorrow at Bridgeforth Stadium. Gates will open at noon. There will be no parking regulations, and tailgates will start at 9 a.m. The game will be played in 2 regulation, 15-minute quarters. It's going to be purple versus white, with offensive wearing purple and quarterbacks wearing red. And coming up tonight, all of the Dukes are away. It's the first day of the CAA championships for women's golf. Track and field is down at Miami U at the Hurricane Alumni Invitational, enjoying warm weather, I'm sure. Baseball is at in-state foe William & Mary. First pitch will be thrown at 6 p.m., and the lacrosse Dukes are in Philly, facing off against the Drexel Dragons. You can watch that game on NBC Sports Washington+. Join us next week for all of the updates.